Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another video. There's another paid request this time for Arthur. Thank you so much for that. For those interested in requesting any type of videos, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. PayPal is usually the best bet. With that said, Vacancy 2, the first cut, there's a little bit of loss of words here, and the fact of I don't understand the idea of making a prequel, which states it was a year after. Number one, Vacancy, for those who don't remember, that was the film with Luke Wilson, Kate Beckinsale, where they were a married couple, but the marriage was failing because of something that happened. They checked into a motel. They find out that the motel room, they're being videotaped, they're being recorded, and there's a snuff film business where the killers are going to try to record and kill them, and they have to survive. And the first Vacancy, I kind of go back and forth. That's another one of those movies where it does have some nice moody atmosphere. The acting is not the problem. You got Frank Whaley in the film. I like Luke Wilson. Kate Beckinsale is fine. I like the concept. The third act I thought was kind of iffy. I'll put it this way. I wish Luke Wilson had more to do, but by the third act became the Kate Beckinsale show. I didn't like that because to me the story was about the both of them, and then when it just became her show, it's like, oh, okay, well, that's typical. You know, the guys either get immobilized or killed or whatever the hell happens. I won't spoil what happens at the end of Vacancy for those who haven't seen it, but it's like, you know, and the lady's the one that's got to do everything. I don't know, just a typical cliche in these type of films, which happens in this as well as the prequel. And also, it's a film that was not that big of a hit. Like, people forget Vacancy, it made 19 million in US and it made 35 million worldwide. So it wasn't this bonanza box office hit. Now, I don't know how much the movie cost, so maybe 19 million in the US was profitable. I mean, if it cost 5 or 6 million, okay. But I didn't. It's weird that, okay, now we don't have a prequel a year later. Now, with that said, once in a while this film does something a bit interesting to play with your expectations, but doesn't do that nearly enough. A lot of people, I would look up reviews for this and they said the acting was bad. I don't think the acting was that bad. It's just the characters, writing wise, there's not much to them. But I don't think the acting is the problem. I don't really needed to know. I didn't need to know how this whole motel business got started. I didn't think that was an interesting enough setup story. It's an interesting setup of Vacancy, but I don't need to know the origin. I don't need to know the beginnings of it. I don't know if a lot of people did. So, really, it's a film that didn't need a prequel or sequel, whatever the hell the case could have been. Pretty much the first chunk of the film is these motel guys finding out about a serial killer and then making a deal where he's going to kill and they will film it and then they'll sell it on the black market. Then the second half of the film is these three people, a boyfriend girlfriend couple, and their buddy, African American man who is bit trash talking, wisecracking. And that plays off as a typical, very shaky. Is one of those films that implement a lot of the shaky cams, so a lot of times it's hard to know what the hell's going on. There's not a lot of ton of gore, so if you're looking for that, there's not a big body count, so if you're looking for that, you're a bit shit out of luck. But again, the spoilers, there were some positive notes I had with this film. Number one, I liked that the beginning played with expectations. This newlywed couple comes in, and rightly so, because you've seen the Vacancy, you're assuming, okay, they're being filmed. Okay, we got the opening death scene, we got the opening murder scene, and they didn't do that. Instead, the couple's having fun, they're having sex, they're being filmed, but then they get out of there and they go off their merry way as newlyweds, and because the movie will kill black people, not Asian people. See, the newlyweds were Asian, so they were safe. But if you're black, you die. Just actually, more black people than white people die in this movie. That I think about it, because there's an older, elderly black couple, and then there's the friend who's black. That's three. While I think there's two white people that die. I know. Why'd I bring that up? Because it's the climate today. I'm supposed to bring it up as if I'm a critic. If I'm a critical critic of critics, I'm supposed to bring that shit up because I need to get into the justifications of the. I'm no seriously. I bring it up just I thought that was that's just what happened. The Asian newlywed couple, they survived, but without goofing and being bullshit. And I did think it was interesting that again you're expecting a murder, it doesn't happen, and it's like, oh, okay, well that's because this motel runs a business where they secretly record couples or whoever having sex, and then they sell them. But then you find out that these pornographers, they're not selling well. Like their product is not getting many buyers. People are bored with it. So this guy named Smith gets into a motel room with this girl, and soon in, he kills her, and these guys see it. Cut to three of these motel guys have this guy Smith captured, and I like the guy who played Smith, Scott G. Anderson. I thought he did a good job. I thought his acting was natural. If they did one of those, like, just flat out life of a serial killer that they do a lot, seems like this guy could play someone of that caliber. I honestly say his acting's a bit too good for this movie because he just felt natural. He felt a little bit of presence. I was drawn to him. It's not like a gem of performance, but I just thought, oh, it's better than I thought it would be for this kind of movie. He had that, just had that right factor that, okay, he can work well in this. And he comes up with the idea we can work together. Now the motel guys, they agreed to this very, very fucking easily. Like there's barely any hesitation. There's barely any. Not even like one person going, "This is wrong. This is bullshit." No, they just. We gotta have the plot moving. The script says we gotta get the plot going. Yeah, we agree. I thought it was kind of weird they agree. They agree that quickly to murder. They briefly mention, well, how do we know if you don't kill us? He says like two words that are okay. So I don't know. I just thought that was a bit too easy, a bit too quick of a sum up, quick of a turn. I mean, yeah, they're sleazy guys for recording people secretly, but there's still a big jump from that to murder, or cohorts to murder. But we don't give a fuck about that. So again, you got three people: Jessica, Caleb, and the fast-talking Tanner. And they get to a motel. The you also start to realize, if you're very much knowledgeable on Vacancy 1, that some of these motel guys are different, and the motel is different. The motel's in a different location. It's called something different. So you go, okay, it's a prequel to Vacancy, but it's not the same motel. It's not the same location. These, for the most part, these other people are not the same people. None of the actors return. Frank Whaley, his character, or him are not in it. Which I thought was also weird. Like, okay, you're going to do a prequel, but you're not going to do a prequel that's at the same motel and using the same actors like Frank Whaley. It's the first cut. thought that was kind of weird decisions to be made. Because even if you're a hardcore fan of Vacancy, you probably would want to see the actual motel and location of the first film and how that all, the first, the second, the third of that dealings, but no. Apparently it was another location, and for the most part, different people. And none of the actors who were the killers, who played the killers, return. And like I said, the acting from the three, they're serviceable. I've seen much worse. They're not award winning. They're not going to make you turn heads, but they were serviceable. They easily find the cameras, find out that they're being watched. They don't know what to do. They said, let's leave. As Tanner says, they probably have a shotgun and a KY jelly. They get shot at. They run back. The boyfriend gets taken, tied to a chair, and gets killed. And that was another thing I thought was kind of interesting, playing with expectations. I wish they did a lot more with that. Where the beginning you're expecting a double murder, but no, newlywed escapes. Perfectly fine, not knowing anything's going on. You think, okay, this will be the boyfriend, the girlfriend together. No, the boyfriend gets killed, and it's the girlfriend and the comic relief best friend who are now working together. But I tell you one thing, this guy ain't no, what's that guy, Night of the Demons? You ain't gonna get me. That's like one of the best characters in horror films. I love it. And I say that I don't remember his name because I'm bad with names, but I love that guy. If you've ever seen Night of the Demons, you know who I'm talking about. See, if the movie went a turn and had a character like that was surviving by doing every smart thing, maybe this film could have turned it around. But just the plot itself, like I say, it's a needless plot. Like I said, it's a needless movie. It's a needless prequel. The acting, I think, are fine, serviceable, but the characters are underwritten, underdeveloped, and nothing that you will remember, nothing to take note of. There's a lot of lame handheld camera work, which was the normal bits in 2008 when this came out. A lot of films did that, and it was annoying because it's trying to signify tension, but you just can't see what's going on. Instead, you get a headache. The two get to this elderly couple who are friends with some of the motel owners, but then the couple get killed. More and more shaky cam, making me fucking dizzy. Ultimately, they both get knocked out after the bad guys catch up to them. The Tanner guy gets killed, but you can't barely tell because it's filmed in red, and then it's cut, 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 edit, 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 like faster than a music video, faster than you could comprehend. Just still image, 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 hearing noise, hearing screams, muffled screams, image, image. Trying to be, I guess, the director trying to have a style, but it just comes off as annoyance because you can't see what the fuck's going on. So the girl's tied up, but this is the other little thing that was somewhat interesting. Like I said, playing with expectations. You think it's a prequel, so you know everybody's going to die. That's not the case. She stabs the Smith guy. One motel owner. Like the third guy that was with her with the cap, he's fucked off. He's just not part of the operation, as I guess on a daily basis. But the other two motel owners, one, she kicks his head into these nails that are protruding through this board. Another, she's female Aquaman. She's part fish. She's under the water, which seems like 4 minutes, and has a shotgun and shoots the guy. And then she's chased by Smith, where she throws some stuff on his face, burns him up a bit, and then she escapes, gets to the cops. They're not sure to believe her because I guess the bodies are gone, and Smith is gone. Smith has gone to a different motel, working with the guy with the baseball cap, and he says, I'll be in business a little bit, just gotta get things fixed in obviously this new motel. Which makes me wonder, how did he buy the new motel? Did this guy with the cap own multiple motels and not just this one? So I guess this guy owned multiple motels? Or Smith just happened to, I don't know, buy a new motel? Or that's what I'm wondering. Did the guy with the cap, did he just own multiple motels? Which I find weird. If they're such a flailing business that they can barely get by selling these porno videos, how the hell you don't afford multiple motels? Or how the hell did this Smith guy, how would he even be able to get a new motel? Not only part of the rich and famous. So even that's not really properly explained. Well, I mean, which is the fucking origin story. You think that'd be prominent. And then the final shot, the director for some reason is on the outskirts of the motel, which is by this highway. It just does a swirling camera. The camera just goes in a 360. So I don't know if the camera is going crazy. It's having a binge. Drank too much vodka. On a tilt-a-whirl. It's a very forgettable film that as an origin story is not really that satisfying or eye-opening. Even then, like the actual motel from the first Vacancy, you don't find out how that came to be. Not really. Like, again, did Smith just buy that? Does the guy with the cap just happen to own multiple motels? Maybe he said in a piece of dialogue and I missed it. If so, I apologize if I missed in some quick dialogue. But then it made me wonder, how the hell is this guy going to afford multiple motels? With, doesn't seem like they have much of the finances. And again, the action really isn't much. Handheld shaky cam is an annoyance. Characters, like I said, underwritten, that there's not much to them. Aside from, again, a few playing with expectations, the girl living, the newlywed couple at the beginning and such, it's at least decently short. I think it was under 90 minutes. I don't remember because I've seen this a couple days ago now. But it's not going to leave any amount of impression. And like I said, even if you're a big fan of Vacancy, you would just watch the first one. And if you're not a fan of Vacancy, why the hell would you see Vacancy 2? So, appreciate the Scott G. Anderson guy, Smith. I thought he was actually a fairly good actor in this. The girl, I forget her name. Again, take her or leave her. Guy who played Tanner, I didn't think he was annoying. Some people said he was irritating as a fast-talking comic relief. He didn't bother me. You do have the line where the guy at the motel, when he gives this three the keys, well, actually two of them because the other guy's hiding, he says, if you need anything, don't hesitate to stream. And then when they get to the motel, they have this conversation. Why did he say stream? Why does he meant yell? Yeah, but he says stream. And it's like, maybe I don't give a fuck. I don't fuck it. Most of you won't give a shit either. So, we'll see you later. Bye-bye.